In 1707, a British naval fleet was sailing home, completely unsure of its own location. No storm, no warning, just bad math. The ships wrecked on rocks near the Isles of Scilly. Nearly 1,500 sailors died in a single night. The cause traced back to one missing piece of technology, a clock that could survive the ocean. To understand why that mattered so much, you have to go back much further, to the very first attempt humans ever made to answer a simple question. What time is it? The earliest clock wasn't a machine. It was a stick, driven into the ground, and a shadow that moved in a predictable pattern. Ancient Egyptians built the first sundials from that observation, over 3,500 years ago. It worked as long as the sun cooperated. No sun, no time, cloudy days and nighttime made it useless. So civilizations turned to water instead. A container, a small hole, water dripping at a steady rate, marked lines showing elapsed time. Egypt built one, Greece built one, ancient China built one, independently, without contact, arriving at the same solution. But water clocks had a flaw nobody could fix. Temperature changed the flow rate, so the same clock ran differently in summer than in winter. For over 1,000 years, that level of imprecision was simply accepted. Then, medieval European monks forced the next real breakthrough, not for astronomy, but for prayer. Monasteries required exact prayer times, day and night, with no room for error. Around the 13th century, they invented the escapement, a mechanism using weights and gears that let a falling weight drop in small, controlled, ticking steps. That single invention became the foundation for nearly every mechanical clock built over the next 700 years, even though early versions still lost or gained 15 minutes a day. In 1656, a Dutch scientist named Christiaan Huygens noticed something strange. A swinging pendulum takes almost exactly the same time to complete each swing, no matter how wide the swing is. He built the first pendulum clock. Accuracy jumped almost overnight, from 15 minutes of daily error to under 15 seconds. But pendulum clocks had one fatal flaw. They only worked if they stayed still. On a moving ship, they were useless. And that flaw is exactly what caused the disaster in 1707. Sailors could calculate their north-south position easily, using the stars. But east-west position required knowing the precise time back home, and no clock could survive months at sea. Britain's government, shaken by the deaths, created the Longitude Prize, an enormous cash reward for anyone who could solve the problem. A self-taught carpenter named John Harrison took on the challenge, with no formal scientific training at all. He spent over 40 years building increasingly refined marine clocks, testing new materials to counteract heat, cold, and the constant motion of the sea. The scientific establishment doubted him the entire time. Most experts were convinced the answer had to come from astronomy, not a carpenter's workshop. Even after his clocks proved accurate at sea, Harrison was repeatedly denied the full prize. He didn't receive real recognition until he was in his 80s. His final design, the H4, stayed accurate to within seconds over months at sea, and it made global navigation dramatically safer for every sailor who came after him. For the next 150 years, mechanical clocks kept improving in small, incremental steps. Then, in 1927, an engineer at Bell Labs named Warren Marrison built something with no pendulum and no gears at all. A clock powered by a vibrating quartz crystal. Quartz vibrates at an extremely precise, consistent frequency when electricity passes through it, with no moving parts to wear down. Quartz clocks were instantly far more accurate than anything mechanical before them. Off by seconds per year, not per day. By the 1970s, the technology had shrunk small enough for a wristwatch, and mechanical watches became nearly obsolete almost overnight. But even quartz wasn't the ceiling. In 1955, physicists built the first atomic clock, using the vibrations of a cesium atom, a frequency so stable the clock wouldn't lose a single second in millions of years. Today, the official definition of a second isn't based on the sun, the Earth's rotation, or any mechanical part at all. It's based entirely on that one atom, vibrating, in a lab. Every GPS satellite, every financial market, and the entire internet now depends on that level of precision holding steady every second without fail. Harrison spent 40 years fighting to be believed. Marison's crystal quietly made his life's work look almost primitive by comparison. And somewhere in a lab, a single atom now keeps the whole modern world synchronized. None of them set out to build the world you live in today. They were only ever trying to answer one very old question, and it just happened to take 4,000 years.